Well, greetings. Cindy Eriks here with Eriks Environmental Consulting. And I come to you while I'm on vacation. This is why I'm dressed like this, doing this video for work. I got a call regarding a client that we did a job for in Madison, Florida. And the insurance company has a problem with the protocol. And it was tornado damage where a tree fell on the roof and caused a bunch of damage inside. And potentially the length of time it took to get agreement on what needed to be done there caused more damage, which is another concern, because if it's dealt with very promptly, you can limit and mitigate the loss. But the question came up from the insurance adjuster, which is who I'm really addressing in this video. I didn't want to wait till I was back at my desk and able to do so, and time went on. But the question was that they could send out another quote-unquote hygienist, which most of the mold assessors are not industrial hygienists, by the way, but where cavity samples could be taken instead of taking walls out. Now, we do cavity samples, but they're not very reliable. And the reason they're not reliable is because there's a lot of dust and debris in the cavities, and the sample gets tainted. The air sample gets tainted by that. Especially if it's exterior walls with insulation, that makes it even worse. So the best thing to do if this is called into question is to do some quote-unquote destructive inspection, where you cut out a small section. It could be 6 inches by 6 inches where you can get a look in the cavity, but you might have to do that in a few areas of the walls, exterior and interior, to determine whether or not the whole wall needs to come out. Mind you, you have studs that are 16 inches on center, occasionally 24, depending upon the house. There are ways to check, but they're not foolproof, and they are they're at best just another method that leaves you with some uncertainties. So if there's evidence of mold in a wall cavity and the insurance company has a problem with taking the wall out or a section of the wall out, then perhaps a 6 inch by 6 inch opening destructive inspection, where the assessor would not be responsible for repairing that wall, but we would place it back in its opening and seal it with tape. That may be the answer. That may be the solution. But we've found, I've been in business, it'll be 34 years next month. I've been a home inspector. I've specialized in mold since March of 2003, which is 22 years. And this is what my experience shows me, not a textbook or the classroom, which I still look at textbooks and I still go to classrooms. But experience has taught me so much more on trying to help a customer and make sure they're not exposed to mold and that no mold gets left behind. Additionally, I'm going to go right back for a second before I end this to mitigating the loss. And mitigating the loss means removing all wet materials when they get wet, especially if it's sheetrock. That's most important, sheetrock, and usually the base trim comes along with that, occasionally some door casing. But if you wait so long to make decisions on how to do the repairs and what, approval on the claim, then it causes more damage. And whose responsibility is the extra damage? Because the insurance company waited and prolonged and caused more damage by prolonging. So that is what I have to say about that. I say you, as a homeowner, that you really need to look out for your own property, and you need to remove any wet materials and deal with your insurance company afterwards, because you are responsible to mitigate your loss. If I remember correctly, I spent 10 years as an adjuster before I opened my company in 1992. So I hope this helps in understanding about checking wall cavities. It's better to do some destructive inspection, but you need to do that with permission from the owner of the property. and know that they will encounter some repairs that will need to get done to repair those openings. But they need to be large enough openings to make certain that no mold is present, and if there's mold, it's all removed. God bless you and have a great day. Cindy Eriks, Eriks Environmental Consulting, Tallahassee, Florida. We do care. That is our motto, we care.